What if the monsters from your nightmares were real? For centuries, the folklore of Native American peoples has been filled with warnings about creatures born from humanity's darkest impulses. But these aren't just scary stories for a campfire. They're chilling lessons. Now, you might have heard some of these beings called cryptids, but that term usually refers to creatures studied by cryptozoologists, like Bigfoot. The beings on our list are different. They are legendary figures from oral traditions and mythology. They are warnings. From the endless hunger of the Wendigo to a shapeshifter that can steal your very identity. We're exploring 5 of the most terrifying figures from Native American legend. Be warned, some things are better left a mystery. First up is a winged terror that once haunted the Mississippi River Valley, the Piaza Bird. According to the folklore of the Illilouette peoples, the name Piaza has been translated to mean the bird that devours men, though some scholars note its exact etymology is uncertain. And according to legend, it absolutely lived up to that name. This creature was first documented by Europeans in 1673, when French explorer Jacques Marquette saw a huge painting of it on the limestone bluffs over the Mississippi River. He described something truly monstrous, as big as a calf, with horns like a deer, a beard like a tiger, a human-like face, and a body covered in colorful scales. Its massive tail was said to be so long it wrapped completely around its body. The Piaza Bird wasn't just scary to look at, it was a man-eater. Legends from the Eileen tribe say this beast would swoop down from the cliffs, its wings cracking like thunder, and carry off warriors in its giant talons. Entire villages lived in fear. In one of the most famous tellings, which became a popular addition to the legend, the terror only ended when a great chief named Watoga offered himself as bait. As Watoga stood in the open, the Piaza Bird dove for the kill. At that exact moment, 20 hidden warriors rose up and fired a volley of poisoned arrows, finally killing the beast. To honor this victory, the tribe painted the Piaza Bird's image on the very cliff where it fell, a landmark that, in one form or another, has been preserved to this day. Coming in at number 4 is a creature that sounds like it was pulled from a fever dream. The flying head, known among the Iroquois peoples as the Canon Sistantis. This being is exactly what it sounds like, a giant, disembodied head that flies through the night sky. But this isn't some harmless ghost. The flying head is a vicious predator, said to be taller than a man, with long, tangled hair, terrifying, fiery eyes, and a massive mouth full of razor-sharp fangs. Some tales say it has leathery, bat-like wings and talons, and its skin is too thick for any weapon to pierce. It comes out at night, sometimes associated with strong winds, to terrorize the living, beating its wings against lodge walls and letting out horrible screams before devouring its victims. The origins of the flying head change from story to story. In some legends, it's a vengeful spirit born from the scene of a brutal murder. In others, a person who commits the taboo of cannibalism is cursed to become one. And in some tales, it has no origin. It's simply a primordial monster that exists to consume human flesh. Even this seemingly unstoppable horror has a weakness. One of the most famous stories tells of a woman who was home alone in her lodge when she heard the creature approaching. Thinking fast, she sat by her fire and pretended to eat the hot, glowing coals, which were really just roasted acorns. The flying head peeked in and, believing she was eating fire, was either so intimidated by her power that it fled, or it tried to copy her, scooping up a mouthful of burning embers and flying away shrieking in agony, never to be seen again. At our number 3 spot is a being of immense power and deadly beauty, a legend that appears in the traditions of many tribes across North America, the Horned Serpent. It's known as Tena to the Cherokee and Untedi to the Sioux, and it's a major figure in many mythologies. The Horned Serpent is often described as a gigantic underwater snake as wide as a tree trunk, with shimmering, unbreakable scales. And just like the name says, it has large horns on its head. But its most mesmerizing feature is the blazing crystal set in its forehead. This gem, called the Ulan Sudi by the Cherokee, is said to give its owner incredible powers of divination, but trying to take it is a fatal mistake. That's because the Horned Serpent is both hypnotic and lethal. The light from its crystal can daze anyone who sees it, causing them to run towards the serpent instead of away, leading them right to their doom. As if that wasn't enough, in some traditions, its breath is a foul plague, so toxic that inhaling even a little is deadly. This creature represents the dangers that lurk in deep water and the chaos of the underworld. It's often shown in an eternal fight against the Thunderbird, a benevolent spirit of the skies created to protect humanity from these underworld beings. We are just getting to the 2 most feared beings on this list. Before we do, if you're finding these legends as fascinating and terrifying as we do, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe for more dives into the unknown. And let us know in the comments which one has gotten under your skin so far. Our number 2 spot goes to a being so feared, so wrapped in taboo, that even saying its name is thought to be a bad idea. We are talking about the Skinwalker. In the Navajo language, it's called the Yi Nald Lushi, which translates to, by means of it, it goes on all fours. A Skinwalker isn't a monster born of myth. It's a human who has chosen a path of pure evil. They are medicine people who use their power for twisted purposes, gaining the supernatural ability to transform into, possess, or disguise themselves as animals. This power comes at a terrible price. It's believed that to become a Skinwalker, a person must commit the ultimate evil, murdering a close family member. This act corrupts their spirit and gives them access to forbidden power, making them the complete opposite of a traditional community-focused healer. A Skinwalker's abilities are vast and terrifying. It can run faster than any human, perfectly mimic any animal or human voice, and are masters of disguise, often taking the form of a coyote or other animals. They are said to stalk people, peering into their windows, knocking on their walls, and spreading fear wherever they go. People who claim to have seen one often describe a deep, unnatural dread and say that the being has glowing, animal-like eyes in its human form and unsettlingly human eyes in its animal form. The Skinwalker is the ultimate perversion of nature, chilling warning against the corrupting influence of power. And at our number 1 spot is perhaps the most infamous and widely feared being in all of Native American folklore, the Wendigo. Coming from the traditions of Algonquian-speaking peoples, the Wendigo is an evil entity born from humanity's greatest sin. The story usually starts with a person facing starvation in a brutal winter. Desperate, they break the ultimate taboo and resort to cannibalism. This act transforms them, body and soul, into a Wendigo. They become a gaunt, skeletal creature with grayish, tight-drawn skin and glowing eyes sunk deep in their sockets. Despite looking starved, the Wendigo has superhuman strength and speed, and it is cursed with a bottomless hunger for human flesh. What makes the Wendigo so horrifying is that its hunger is a physical symbol of a spiritual sickness: greed. In some tellings, with every person it eats, the monster actually grows larger, and its hunger grows stronger with it, so it can never, ever be full. It's the perfect metaphor for insatiable greed and the destructive nature of selfishness. The legend was a critical cautionary tale in communities where cooperation was the only way to survive. The Wendigo isn't always a transformed person either. Some traditions say it's an evil spirit that can possess people, filling them with the same cannibalistic rage. To be taken by the spirit of the Wendigo was to be lost to darkness, and often the only way for a community to protect itself was to hunt down and destroy the possessed person. The Wendigo is a powerful symbol of what happens when we give in to our most monstrous impulses, a warning that still echoes on the coldest, darkest nights. From the man-eating Piaza Bird to the shape-shifting Skinwalker and the ever-starving Wendigo. These legends are so much more than just scary stories. They are powerful cultural warnings that explore the darkness humans are capable of and the terrifying forces that might just be lurking beyond the glow of the firelight. These beings represent greed, betrayal, and the chaos that can be unleashed when the sacred laws of nature and community are broken. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these 5 legends do you find the most terrifying? Are there other stories from your own local folklore that you think we should look into next? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching.